sass me.
I
Sass.
will listen. I've had a day. I will sass you.
I will listen. You will listen.
You
So
will
sass
listen.
me.
I am inevitable.
I am inevitable.
Yeah, that is
Just
me.
like this stream. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Whiskey Wednesdays, a Fools and Flagons show where I, the DM, review and discuss various topics regarding D&D as suggested by you and the lovely people in our Discord. Whiskey Wednesdays will be available the Wednesday after the live stream on our YouTube channel and in podcast form on iTunes, Spotify, and many other mainstream podcast services. Donations are never required, but always appreciated. If you'd like to support us, please consider our coffee page, as all proceeds from donations and memberships go straight back into making Fools and Flagons an even better experience, and it helps keep the podcast alive and well. Whew. So, always required. Well, I am joined tonight by a very sparse crowd of Kirsten and her children and Zach and Nim. I really have to struggle to not call you Pez, like on reflex now. It's weird.
You can call me anything. I mean, if you want to call me bitch, you can.
Well, no, see, the problem if I just say, hey, bitch, like half the Discord is going to go, what you want?
True.
Well, I'm not bitch. Fuck you.
I
am whore, and you know it.
If I look at Discord, your nickname is currently Queen Bitch.
Listen, I don't really give a shit what's on there. They're stupid.
Well, with that being said, here's the first sip to a lovely evening.
Glub, glub, glub.
Ah.
What are we drinking
tonight?
tonight? Ooh.
I thought about going with something a little bit stronger, but I figured I'd go a little easy today. So, tonight we are going to be talking once more about the OneD&D Playtest rules, the second round. We've already talked about the classes in the previous episode, so we are going to be looking at the feats and the new updated glossary terms. So, anything anyone has that they want to talk about before we get the ball rolling on this?
I have 2 feet.
Me too.
I'm so happy for you.
And I can
Oh,
wiggle
this
my
is
toes
cool.
too.
What?
Pictures or it didn't happen. I want you to think about that for a second.
Me.
Okay. I'll be right back. I'm going to watch a show with the parents.
Oh, okay. You're just gonna leave us?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm allergic to bullshit.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
you heard him.
I'll be back.
Okay. So, let's see. Next week we would normally have our D&D stream, but unfortunately I'm going to be out of the country, so it's going to be postponed. I believe currently the plan is we'll have a catch-up stream on the 4th of November, and then get back into our regular schedule the next Friday, the 11th. If we're not able to make the 4th happen, then at the very least the 11th will happen. So, if you haven't already, please join the Discord. That's where we tend to talk about stuff and nerdy things in general. Links should be down below. If you're listening to this in podcast form, it should be in the description. It's a lot of random letters. Good luck typing that out. But otherwise, on Twitch and in YouTube format, should be a clickable link. If there's not, leave a comment, let me know, and I'll fix it, because sometimes I'm just dumb. Anywho, let's mosey on into some of these, shall we?
Sure.
So first and foremost, gonna go alphabetically here. We're looking at, actually, I can pop this up on the douche. We're looking at the ability score improvement. This is a 4th level feat, meaning you have to be of level 4 or higher to use it, basically. They've just sort of changed the wording, because it used to be you either take an ability score improvement or you take a feat. Now the ability score improvement is the feat. It is repeatable. There are no other prerequisites other than the level. You can increase one ability score by 2, or you can increase 2 ability scores by 1. And you cannot increase an ability score above 20. That's pretty bog standard. Next up, we have Actor. This one has a prerequisite of you having 13 charisma or higher. Skilled at mimicry and dramatics, you gain the following benefits. You increase your charisma score by 1 to a maximum of 20. You get impersonation. While you're disguised as a fictional person or a real person other than yourself, you have advantage on charisma performance checks to convince others that you are that person. You also have mimicry. You can mimic the sounds of other creatures, including speech. To mimic a sound or a way of speaking, you must listen to it for at least 1 minute. Anytime thereafter, you can make a DC 15 performance check to perform the mimicry. On a success, you perform it convincingly for up to 1 hour. So that seems very bard, roguey kind of thing.
Very true. Or if you want to be a dick.
True.
But not in a bad way. Like, good dick.
Well, it depends. I mean, anything you can do as a player, you can do as in the spirit of being a dick.
Nah.
No, you don't think so?
Nah, it's just silly.
Next up, we have athlete. Another 4th level feat. Prerequisite, you have to have strength, dexterity, or constitution at 13 or higher. It is not repeatable. You get an ability score increase of strength, dexterity, or constitution by 1 to a maximum of 20. You get to pick. You gain a climb speed equal to your normal speed. You also have hop up. So when you are prone, you can right yourself with only 5 feet of movement. That's kind of big. You also have an advantage on ability checks you make for the jump action, but who the fuck ever does a jump action? But the question there is, I'm not sure how worth it is to take this feat just for getting up out of prone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you find yourself in a situation where you're constantly being knocked prone for some reason.
Wobbly.
Like you a bitch.
Well, I mean, I guess technically if you're looking at like the Ravenloft campaign where you're pretty much in a winter wonderland, a perpetual winter wonderland, you may have multiple situations running around on ice. That may not be a terrible thing, especially if you're a fighter or a barbarian and, you know, you have to move to your target. I still don't know that I would take it. Yeah, it's weirdly situational for it to be a feat. But, I mean, the climbing speed, that's also pretty nice. Again, situational. I mean, I don't think I can think of a time that I don't think I've made any of you guys climb anything.
Mm-mm.
I mean, you had to climb down in the Lunawind mine, but then we just sort of like speed ran past getting out. Well, no, I actually did have you guys climb the rope up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Stop.
regardless, that's one instance in 40-odd sessions, so whatever. Charger is the next feat. This one's actually interesting. The prerequisite is proficiency with any martial weapon, so it will not work with a simple weapon. You get an ability score increase of strength or dexterity. You get improved dash. When you take the dash action, your speed increases by 10 feet for that action. Feet.
Tristan, stop.
You also get the charge attack. If you move at least 10 feet in a straight line immediately before hitting with an attack as part of your attack action on your turn, choose one of the following effects. Gain a 1d8 bonus to the attack's damage roll, or push the target up to 10 feet. Provided the target you want to push is no more than one size larger than you, you can use this benefit only once on each of your turns. It's not terrible. Hello, Issa.
Hello.
Your man has left us for food.
Well, how dare.
I know.
What a harlot.
You're going to have to whip him into shape.
Or just whip him.
Fucking no hesitation. We're just going through the new feats that we've got on this update.
Alrighty.
Nothing terribly interesting so far. So next up, we've got Crossbow Expert. It's, again, 4th level. Proficiency with... This is the weird thing. It's proficiency with any martial weapon. Which, technically, if you're proficient with martial weapons, you're proficient with crossbows. But it's still weird that you could technically be proficient with, like, a long sword. It's like, hey, I can take this feat. Haha.
Yeah, but it gives you different. It gives you like, kind of, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like what it gives you. I don't know. Whatever. Just keep going.
Okay. It increases your dexterity by 1. You ignore the loading property of crossbows, which is huge. That's really fucking big. Because generally it's shoot, your next attack action is reloading, or depending if it's like a heavy crossbow, then you would have to spend an entire action reloading, I believe. You also get to fire in melee, so being within 5 feet of an enemy doesn't impose disadvantage on your attack rolls with crossbows. That's pretty fucking big. You also have dual wielding. When you make an extra attack of the light weapon property, you can add your ability modifier to the damage of the extra attack if that attack is with a crossbow that has the light property. So basically, if you're just a normal Joe Schmo and you've got 2 one-handed crossbows, you can shoot with one, make a bonus action attack with the other, but the first one you would get to add your dexterity bonus to the attack, the second one you would not. You just roll the weapons damage and that's it. With this, you do. You basically get to attack with everything that you got. Again, situational. You would have to have light crossbows. So if that's what you've got and that's what you're rolling with, then this is kind of a great feat. Which kind of makes it interesting to think of narratively. If you can ignore the loading property of crossbows, do you just like one hand pump the mini crossbows and there's just a bolt already ready to go?
Well, how about the aspect of like instead of doing that, you're a little more creative with it, and you modify your crossbows to be auto loading.
Have like a chain attachment of arrows.
Or you could it could be something along. You remember the Lara Croft movie where she had like the mag loaders on the back of her waist and just like popped out the new mags, she slammed them in. It's just that, but crossbow bolts. I don't know. Next up, we have Defensive Duelist, 4th level feat. Prerequisite is Dexterity 13 plus. You get to increase your dexterity by 1, and you get the parry. If you are holding a finesse weapon and another creature hits you with a melee attack, you can use your reaction to add your proficiency bonus to your AC for that attack, potentially causing the attack to miss you. So that one just kind of gets better as you level up. I mean, that's a pretty strong one to take.
Parry?
Defensive Duelist is the name of the feat.
That I got. Isn't that something else? Like, I could have swore there's another form of parry that currently exists, like in a class or something. Or am I thinking?
No, there's definitely a
incorrectly?
few of them out there. They may not necessarily be called parry, but something similar.
Oh, okay, I was about to say like that sounds really familiar, but okay.
Well, because there is one, I believe we were talking about it with the Rogue last Whiskey Wednesdays, where they could deflect an attack to reduce the damage by half and give it to another creature within 5 feet of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just too lazy to go scroll up and look for it.
That's fine.
We got Dual Wielder, another 4th level feat. Proficiency with any martial weapon is a prerequisite. You increase your strength or dexterity by 1 to a maximum of 20. And you have enhanced dual wielding. When you are holding a weapon with the light property in one hand, you can treat a non-light weapon in your other hand as if it had the light property, provided that weapon lacks a two-handed property. You can also draw or stow 2 weapons that lack the two-handed property when you would normally be able to draw or stow only 1.
Which is actually really good.
Yeah.
Being able to treat a light weapon or a non-light weapon as a light weapon.
Yeah.
So is that like a long sword? I think. I don't think a long sword's light.
Yeah, I believe it's a similar in fashion of having like a short sword and a long sword instead of two short swords. But yeah, so long as it's not like a great sword. I mean, it's extra damage, so why not? Durable is a 4th level feat. You have to have a constitution of 13 or higher. You can increase your constitution by 1 using this feat. Again, this one may be a little situational depending on how you are, Kirsten. You have advantage on death saving throws, and you have speedy recovery. As a bonus action, you can expend one of your hit dice, roll the die, and regain a number of hit points equal to the roll. I'm assuming she's taking care of her kids, or else she might retaliate verbally.
Yeah,
Oh.
I heard my name, but I was yelling at the children.
The durable feat gives you advantage on death saving throws.
Oh.
And as a bonus action, you can expend one of your hit dice to heal yourself by what you roll.
That's pretty nifty.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, you have to have a constitution of 13 or higher. And
Damn,
I don't
calling her
think,
out like that.
I don't think you have that.
No.
No.
Well, Kirsten, it's a good thing they did make the ability score improvement a feat thing now.
It's always been a thing.
I don't know, Kirsten.
Next up, we have Elemental Adept. It is a 4th level feat. The prerequisite is you have to have spellcasting or the Pact Magic feature. It is repeatable, but you must choose a different damage type for each time for energy mastery, and I'll get to that in just a second. You get an ability score increase. You increase your wisdom, intelligence, or charisma by 1. And for energy mastery, you choose one of the following damage types: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. Spells you cast ignore resistance to damage of the chosen type. In addition, when you roll damage for a spell you cast that deals damage of that type, you can treat any one on a damage die as a 2.
I know about this feat. I have it.
Yeah.
Very useful.
It is.
Although, to be completely honest with you, I'm fucking paranoid as hell. Either I'll or somebody else will forget about it.
Oh, when you're using an ability?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it is on you to remember. If I'm feeling generous, I might.
I've told you every time.
I know.
I've also been told every time. I got it.
More what I'm getting at with that is, let me finish my thought. Don't interrupt me.
Okay. That's actually quite
Because
helpful
I have quite a lot going on, and you telling me that is throwing off my
Mojo.
train of thought.
I like
Don't
my
throw
word
off his
better.
groove.
Threw off my groove. So since this is alphabetical, we're jumping out of the 4th level ranges, and we're going to be getting into the epic boons. These are cool. Should I come back to these? Save the best for last.
That's up
I'm
to
gonna
you.
save the best for last. We'll teasing the listeners here. It's fine. They'll get over it. So we're gonna get into some of the 1st level feats real quick. Try to breeze through some of these. All these are fighting styles. So you've got archery. You have to be part of the warrior group, but you gain a +2 bonus to attack rolls you make with ranged weapons.
Okay, archery, there we are.
Huh?
I was trying to find where the archery was.
Oh yeah, if you go to fighting style, it's on page 19.
I got it.
Fighting style defense. Again, you have to be a warrior. While you are wearing armor, you gain a +1 bonus to AC. Dueling, also warrior group. When you are wielding a melee weapon in one hand and no other weapons, you gain a +2 bonus to damage rolls with that melee weapon. Fighting style, great weapon fighting. When you roll a 1 or a 2 on a damage die for an attack you make with the melee weapon that you are wielding with 2 hands, you can re-roll the die, and you must use the new roll. The weapon must have the 2-handed or versatile property to gain this benefit. That's also only for the warrior group. I know, it's such a shame. Zach couldn't take this on his bunny.
No. Yeah, I'm not gonna
Wow.
lie. I'm reading a lot of these. It's like warrior group. I'm like, huh. Liking some of these restrictions less and less.
Fighting style, protection. Again, warrior group. I know. Immediately after a creature you can see makes an attack roll and hits a target other than you that is within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to interpose your shield and impose a -2 penalty on the attack roll, potentially turning it into a mist. You must be wielding a shield to use this reaction. So you basically just see your buddy about to get hit and you go, ha! Shield! Yes, exactly! Ha! So chatty tonight.
He is pouting right now.
Aw. Fighting style,
dare
2
Mom
weapon
tell
fighting.
me.
Again, you got to be part of the warrior group. When you make an extra attack of the light weapon property, you can add your ability modifier to the damage of the next attack. So similar to what the crossbow one was, and the duelist, I believe, was that it?
Something like that.
Yeah, dual wielder. That's what it was. So on to grappler. It's a 4th level feat. You must have a strength or dexterity of 13 or higher, and you can increase your strength or dex by 1. You get attack advantage. You have advantage on attack rolls against a creature grappled by you. You have fast wrestler. You are not slowed when you move a creature grappled by you, provided the creature is your size or smaller. You also have punch and grab. When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike as part of the attack action on your turn, you can deal damage to the target and also grapple it. You can use this benefit only once per turn.
It's just a guaranteed grapple.
Well, so the way that grappling works with the OneD&D rules is in 5e, it was a strength contest. So basically, Zon would run up to something and say, I want to grapple it. You go, okay, roll, I believe it's an acrobatics check, and it's a roll-off. Whoever has the highest wins. The way grappling works now is Zon basically just has to run up to it, roll an attack roll, beat its AC, and it's grappled. Now, with this feat, you get to grapple it and punch it. So you're essentially punching him in the face and then getting him into a, like, naked rear Nelson or whatever the fuck it's called. Now, granted, it's an unarmed strike, so it's not going to deal a lot of damage, but damage is damage. Next up, we've got the Great Weapon Master. It's a 4th level feat. You have to have proficiency with any martial weapon. You get an increase to your strength by 1. Then you have Cleave. So immediately after you score a critical hit with a melee weapon or reduce a creature to 0 hit points with 1, you can make 1 attack with the same weapon as a bonus action. You also have Heavy Weapon Mastery. When you hit a creature with a heavy weapon as part of the attack action on your turn, you can cause the weapon to deal extra damage to the target. The extra damage equals your proficiency bonus, and you can deal it only once per turn. So, again, a situation of damage is damage. It's not an astronomical amount more, but
Still damage.
yeah, an extra 4 damage per hit. If you're a fighter, you're getting 3 to 4 hits per turn without action surge.
But you can only do it once per turn.
Right.
So,
But still, like, that's still an extra, like, 3 to 4 damage on one of your strikes.
yeah.
Yeah. Heavily
definitely
armored. Huh?
It's definitely good.
Yeah. I really like the hitting with a critical and being able to use a bonus action to attack. That's really nice.
It's going to be interesting because you currently have the fighter where if you kill something, you can use a bonus action to attack again. Now it's just giving him another way to attack again.
Mm-hmm. We'll see how it ends up working out. Heavily Armored is up next. It's a 4th level feat, and you have to have medium armor training. You increase your constitution or strength by 1, and you gain the heavy armor training. So yeah. Short, simple, to the point. I don't
Ew.
know that I would ever take that feat personally.
Well, if you don't normally have the ability to get heavy armor and you want it, I can see you having this, but like at the same time,
there's a lot of other better feats.
Yeah.
I feel like it's situational. Like if you rolled really well on your ability scores like Zahn did, and you don't need all those ability score increases, and you're basically able to take just feats, why not?
Yeah.
Heavy Armor Master. You have to have Heavy Armor Training. It's a 4th level feat. It's got to scroll to the top of the page. You increase your Constitution or Strength by 1, and you have damage reduction. When you're hit by an attack while you're wearing heavy armor, any bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage dealt to you by that attack is reduced by an amount equal to your proficiency bonus.
Which is very good.
Again, not a whole lot, but less damage is less damage.
Well, three damage could be the difference between, dying or not dying.
Yeah, it's the difference between a whole other turn that you get to bonk back or, be sucking earthworms.
Go to bed.
I'm in the middle of a stream.
Not you, goob.
30 more minutes.
I gotta finish my whiskey first.
17 more hours.
I gotta finish my nightcap. Next up, we have Inspiring Leader. It's a 4th level feat. You have to have your Wisdom or Charisma at 13 or higher. You can increase your Wisdom and Charisma by 1. And you get Encouraging Performance. Issa, listen up, you bard wannabe. At the end of a short rest or a long rest, you can give an inspiring performance, a speech, a song, or a dance. When you do so, choose up to 6 friendly creatures, which can include yourself, within 30 feet of you who witness the performance. The chosen creatures each gain temporary hit points equal to 2d4 plus your proficiency bonus.
No possibility of what? Early at that level, that's 8.
I mean, at
11.
At 4th
possible.
level, it's the potential of 10 extra hit points. Wait. No. Your proficiency goes up to... When does your proficiency go up? I always fuck that math up. Hold on.
Who gives a shit? You get at least 10. There you go.
Hold on. I'm looking this shit up. It always fucking frustrates me. No, that's not what I want. Here we go. No, at 4th level, you still only have a +2. So, but still, if you rolled max, 2 4s, that's 8 and 2, that's 10. 10 extra hit points is a lot at 4th level.
Yeah.
So that definitely seems like one that's better a little earlier on. I mean, it's still good at, towards end game. I mean,
if you really think what's proficiency bonus can get up to like what, 8 or not
6,
8 or 10.
I think. Wait,
I'm
hold on.
pretty sure it can go higher than 6.
No, it's 6.
Is it 6? So
Yeah.
6 plus 8.
6 and 8. Yeah, that's 14.
14. Still not bad.
That's still 14 extra hit points that you
I mean, for
literally
fucking,
get for free.
Yes, for fucking dancing. You get fucking 14 extra hit points. You can get possibly 14 extra hit points. Suck it up, Buttercup.
You're all just gathered
Fucking
around the fire, and Issa's like, "Let me show you the dance of my people." Fucking whips out Squidward tentacles. Just like,
Oh my
wee, 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 wee.
But if you really think about it, if you combine, think of it one-on-one, if you combine these, imagine with a heavy armor character taking some of those feats earlier, reducing every hit by your proficiency, and then on top of that, characters are giving out bonus temporary health. The small numbers stack. It's just a matter of how you manage to stack them correctly.
The other thing to remember, this is kind of a reminder of temporary hit points. Temporary hit points do not stack. If you have temporary hit points and you are given more temporary hit points, you have to decide to replace the ones that you have now with the ones you are being given, or disregard the ones you are currently being given to keep the ones that you have. For example,
which I personally think is stupid.
For example, in this situation at 4th level, Well, actually, let me do a quick little bit of research here, because I don't remember what level you get Hero's Feast. I can't spell heroes. All right, it is a 6th level spell, which, God, I'm sorry, my brain is not firing on all cylinders today. Give me just a second. No, not wizard. Who gets it? Cleric gets it. So, as a 6th level spell, so you get it at 11th level. Which, via the chart, you would have a +4 to your proficiency bonus. So, max that you could get from this feat is 12? So, that's 12 potential hit points you can get. Actually, no. That's not what Hero's Feast does. Hero's Feast increases your hit point maximum. That's not temporary hit points. So that would stack with Hero's Feast pretty well. Oop, Issa died. And she's back. Welcome back, madam.
I'm alive. I'm dead.
Regardless, my point's kind of moot because my brain's not firing on all cylinders and I picked a poor spell. But if you have 12 temporary hit points from this feat, and someone was to cast an ability that gave you 10, you're going to want to keep these temporary hit points because they're more. But if you started with the 10 and this was given to you, then you're going to go to this one. But they don't stack.
Which is true.
That was
again,
a really
on top of
long,
that,
convoluted way of saying you can't stack the fucking temporary hit points.
And I mean, if you really think about it too, you're still getting a point of wisdom. What is it, charisma or wisdom? So like you're still getting something other than just giving the temporary health points. You're still getting something that benefits you.
Yes, you're getting a partial ability score increase, which is actually something that I've noticed on most, if not all of these.
Yeah.
You're still getting an ability score
it,
increase, but you're not getting 2. That's the only thing.
They're
So
making
this is
it
actually
so that like
nice.
you're getting bonuses on top of just getting. I mean, I say just a feat, but some feats can feel underwhelming. But like at the same time, it's just like,
well,
no, it's a little bit more.
Speaking of underwhelming, I'm a little disappointed with their change to Keen Mind. So Keen Mind is a 4th level feat. You have to have an intelligence of 13 or higher. You increase your intelligence by 1.
Okay.
You've got lore knowledge. Choose one of the following skills: Arcana, History, Investigation, Nature, or Religion. If you lack proficiency in the chosen skill, you gain proficiency in it. If you have proficiency, you gain expertise in it. You also get quick study, so you can take the study action as a bonus action. I feel like that's a little bit of a downgrade. Oh, Pez died.
What is this? So what is the study action?
The study action has is mainly looking at like investigate. Here, let me scroll down and kind of read it word for word real quick, because it's kind of encompassing a few of your normal, like, oh, I want to look at this, and it's like an investigation or perception or something. So hang on. Scrolling down. Search action. When you take the search action, you make a wisdom check to discern something that isn't obvious. The search table suggests which skills are applicable when you take this action, depending on what you're trying to detect. So insight, medicine, perception, or survival. So let's say that you're in the middle of a fight and you say, well, I want to look around and see if I can find the invisible creature, let's say. So I would say, okay, make a perception check. You roll a perception check and you succeed or you fail. Depending on the DM, technically by the rules, that takes your action to do. It also kind of depends on, like, how intently you are doing or performing this search. If you're saying, like, I'm taking a quick look around, do I see any stairs? That I may let that slide. It's like, make a perception check and not have it count for you. But if you're saying, like, I'm looking for the dragon to hit it, then that may be an action. This feat is making it so you can make these checks as a bonus action and keep your actual action ready to go.
It's not, honestly, it's really not that bad. Not to mention, you gain expertise in what?
No,
in history, investigation, or religion. That can be very useful.
It's really, really, it's not a terrible feat. I like the roleplay aspects of it from what it used to be. So the old feat for Keen Mind was you have a mind that can track time, direction, and detail with uncanny precision. You gain the following benefits. Increase your intelligence score by 1. You always know which way is north. You always know the number of hours left before the next sunrise or sunset. You know what time of day it is always. And you can accurately recall anything you have seen or heard within the past month. Keen Mind was just a really, really solid role-playing feat.
I can see where you're like, well, I like this a little bit more comes from, but at the same time, like, what direction is north? You always know what direction is north. Technically, if you want to know that, it's a nature check. Like,
Well, yeah,
if you
right,
want to
but
recall
now you
something,
always know.
But in that same aspect, what if you're underground? You don't have the sun to direct you. But with Keen Mind, you go that way.
I mean, like, logic-wise, I can see what they're doing, and I can see why they're doing it, because it being a guarantee, like, so for example, in a cave, how the hell would you, even if you had a keen mind, how the hell would you know it ways north?
Well, because if
people.
the way that it
Like-
says is you can recall anything you have seen or heard in the past month. So with that being said, as you were at the entrance of the cave, you remember, well, when we were in the cave, we were 30 degrees to the left of north. And we went down, we turned like this, turned like this, turned like this, turned like this. Therefore, with me facing this direction, north is that way. Because you're basically mapping out the tunnel as you go in your brain hole.
To a degree, I can still understand. I still understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I do think that this logically makes a little bit more sense, personally.
Again, I don't hate this feat as it's been updated. They've definitely made it more beneficial via dice rolls and action economy versus it being more or less purely roleplay heavy. But I kind of almost wish that they had left in that roleplay stuff as well, because it's literally just roleplay, more or less.
I do agree.
Also, hello, Metal. Thank you for joining.
Hi.
Scooch and ride on along. Lightly armored. You gain the following armor training: light armor, medium armor, and shield. Hooray. Which actually isn't terrible if you consider that... well, actually, I'm kind of curious. I need to look into that. Because as a wizard and a sorcerer, you're not technically able to cast most of those spells because the armor would restrict you, but taking that feat, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, some of them have a spellcasting focus that they need to use too, right?
Yeah. I'd have to go
That's
and really
interesting.
kind of dig into it, because I can't remember if it says like you can't cast it without proficiency. Hold on. Let's do a little quick search for armor. Armor and proficiencies, none. Training and war. Oh, that's for blade singing. Or am I thinking of sorcerer? No. Let's see. No many spells. Cast one of these spells. You green out. Blah, blah. Prepare a list. Hinger Dinger Durgan, for example. Blah blah blah. In addition, use your intelligence modifier. Ritual casting. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Spellbook. Great. Interesting. I know I've read it somewhere, but I'm not seeing it, like, actually written down. It may be in, like, the player handbook for casting spells.
Yeah.
Let's take a look-see. Doodly-doo, casting a spell.
Oh, big Bible.
Especially swift. That's a bonus action reaction, casting times, range, components. Let's see if I if I type in armor. Casting an armor. Because of the mental focus and precise gestures required for spell casting, you must be proficient with the armor you are wearing to cast a spell. So, If you were an absolute mad lad and you took lightly armored as your first level feat and then took medium armor as your fourth level, you could technically take heavy as your next feat and be a heavy armor wearing wizard, sorcerer, cleric monstrosity.
Hi.
Yeah. You could be him.
You could be me! Listen, boys and girls, think hard, think fast, think smart. You could be me.
Now look over there. Look at the ground. Now back to me. You could be
You're
dead
not
on the
me.
ground, or you could be me.
This is a slight tangent, but I was setting up the dice shop earlier today, and I was putting descriptions for some of the dice sets. So for the C1 boar set, I had put as the description, look at that orc. Now back to me. Now down. Back to me again. I'm a half orc now. I have a ukulele. I'm on a horse. Swan dive.
I'm all about it. So long as the artwork has his little teddy bear, I'm happy.
Oh, there's not really going to be any artwork. It's just going to be a picture of the dice when I finish them.
So take a picture of the dice with a teddy bear, fucker.
No, I don't think I have just a teddy bear laying around.
I'll fucking Amazon one to you, Jesus.
I
I'll write it
demand
out as a
Zon's
business
face on the
expense.
dice.
Yeah, nice. I'll be sure to get right on that.
Moving right along.
You heard
Since
it
we
here.
were talking
He said
about
he'd do it.
spellcasters. Mage Slayer is a 4th level feat. You have to have proficiency with any martial weapon. You get a strength or dexterity score increased by 1. Concentration Breaker. When you damage a creature that is concentrating, it has disadvantage on the saving throw it makes to maintain the concentration. That is fucking huge for a spellcaster. You also get Guarded Mind. If you fail an intelligence, a wisdom, or charisma saving throw, you can cause yourself to succeed instead. You can only use this once per long rest. That's also really, really fucking mad. You basically gave yourself a legendary resistance.
If you really think about it, it's a saving throw. Damn it! I was like, it's just a test of like, if you really think about it, if you're asked this question that you could never know the answer to, and fail, you now somehow are smart enough to know the answer to it.
No, it's a saving throw.
Oh god, that'd be so fucking hysterical.
The next 4th level feat is Medium Armor Master. You get a strength or dexterity score increased by 1. Oh, you have to have the medium armor training. Sorry, that's a prerequisite. While you're wearing medium armor, you can add 3 rather than 2 to your AC if you have dexterity score of 16 or higher. Again, really super situational. I mean...
Wait, what do you mean situational?
Well, I say situational because I just feel like there's other feats that are better taken than using 2 of your ability or your feats for this. Well, no, I guess technically if you already have the medium armor training as a ranger or whatnot, then you wouldn't need it. I think I was still in the mindset of like a mage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you can make yourself really fucking tanky with that. It's interesting. I don't know that I would take it myself, but it's worth looking into. We've got Mounted Combatant next, and it's a shame Nim isn't here because he was really wanting to do this in the first campaign. It is a 4th level feat, and you have to have proficiency with any martial weapon. You get an ability score increase of 1 towards strength, dexterity, or wisdom. And you've got Mount Handler. You have advantage on wisdom animal handling checks made to handle or train horses and other beasts employed as mounts. You have Mounted Strike, which, while mounted, you have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that is within 5 feet of your mount and at least 1 size smaller than it. And you've got Leap Aside. If your mount is subjected to an effect that allows it to make a dexterity saving throw to take only half damage, It instead takes no damage if it succeeds on the saving throw, and only half damage if it fails. For your mount to gain this benefit, you must be riding it, and neither of you can be incapacitated. You basically get the evasion rogue feature on a horse, or whatever the fuck it is you're riding. You've also got the veer, which, while mounted, you can use your reaction to force an attack that hits your mount to hit you instead. Gotta save your little fuzzy buddy.
Hey, that's interesting.
And again, it's a shame Nim's not here. I'm sure he'd like, what?
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense in D&D, like, mounts, creatures that are your pets don't fucking scale with health. And health with you.
Ranger companions are the only ones that really scale that, as far as I'm aware. And they don't scale well either, in my own personal opinion.
Me?
Do you guys remember the horses' names from Campaign 1? I know one of them was Duke.
Oh, fuck
no. About your
I hardly remembered my own. I hardly remembered Zeke's Storm King's Thunder, where you played Zorkon.
We had horses?
We had 2 horses.
Sure we did, crazy man.
Well, no, because Kayla had a necklace that let her speak to animals at all times, so we always knew what they were thinking. And Duke was like super depressed about everything we did. I just don't remember what the first one was called.
Nah, you're crazy. That never happened.
Someone remind me when Nim gets back. We gotta check canon.
I was gonna say I hardly remembered my own fucking character's name.
Horses names from Campaign 1. Actually, can't I tag him in this in chat somehow? I forget.
What? Which one?
Oh, got it. Figured it out. There we go. All right, I tagged him in chat. We'll see if he replies with that. So gonna scooch right along to Observant. Is a 4th level feat. You have to have intelligence or wisdom at 13 or higher, and you gain a +1 increase to intelligence or wisdom. You have Keen Observer. You choose one of the following skills: Insight, Investigation, or Perception. If you lack proficiency, you have proficiency now, or if you have proficiency, you now have expertise in it. And you have Quick Search. You can take this search action as a bonus action.
All I'm going to say to this is, I want you to... Zon's perception is off the fucking charts thanks to Harangon.
Right.
I want you to imagine Zon with expertise in fucking perception.
You would be able to hear a mouse fart across the planet.
Just like my Yeti.
Like, seriously.
Like your Yeti?
Yeah, my fucking Yeti mic, it picks up a fly fart from across the room.
Yeah.
So, actually, let me ask this. So, what does expertise do again? If you don't mind me, just because
You double
I'm
your
not
proficiency bonus.
Yeah, instead of using one. Yeah.
So, your
probably-
proficiency bonus right now...
9.
4? No,
My-
your proficiency bonus is 4.
Yeah.
4.
No. Yeah, you guys just leveled up to 9, so it's a +4. So your expertise would give you a +8.
So, instead of 9, I have a +13.
Yeah.
And then, on top of that, my wisdom, my passive wisdom perception
Would skyrocket.
Yeah, that's just... I'd say dumb, but it's very fascinating, because if you play a character right, like, you will never be snuck on ever, or snuck up on ever, period. Because you're just
Not
going to know where
necessarily.
they are.
I could crit.
Again, hypothetically. It's just like, it's very unlikely. Anything can still happen. It's a
With
dice
your
game.
radar dishes, it's unlikely.
I'm not just taking me into account there. Like, anybody. Like, that's really good.
Yeah. We got Pole Master next, is also 4th level. Proficiency with any martial weapon. You can increase your strength by 1. You get Pole Strike, so immediately after you take the attack action with an attack with a weapon that has the heavy and reach properties, you can use a bonus action to make a melee attack with the opposite end. The weapon's damage die for this is a D4, and it deals bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
You also get Reactive Strike. While you are holding a weapon that has the heavy and reach properties, you can use your reaction to make one melee attack against a creature that enters the reach you have with the weapon. So it's not an
That's
attack of
the good part
opportunity.
about it.
You get to stab something that gets close to you. And if you have heavy
Attack
and
of
reach,
welcome.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. If you have heavy and reach on a weapon, you're attacking at 10 feet.
Yep.
So you could theoretically kill them before they can actually get a chance at hitting you. Because if they get into your range, I think you attack at the same time, basically. So they would still get to hit you.
They are. It is still like that. Is the first part of that is actually already exists. The second part of that also
What do you mean
still
it already
exists.
exists?
Pole strike. That's actually not new. That exists already. It's Polar Master, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, what I mean is like this is a feat that exists already, and I've contemplated taking it.
Yeah.
Because of that reactive strike thing.
Yep.
Oh. That's a pretty strong feat. Well, purely for the reactive thing. I don't think the attacking with the butt end of the pole arm for D4 damage is that
Yeah.
Damage is
noticeable
damage.
worth. Yeah,
I mean-
but like, is it for free or are you using up your action economy to do it?
It's a bonus action.
So actually, this does actually.
But
this
if
does
you
bring
think
on
about
another
it,
question though.
hold on. If you think about it, your boar, because he had a pole arm, you get your 2 attacks. Your first move, you rage, you use your 2 attacks. Your next turn, you do your 2 attacks. There's nothing else to bonus action. You're raging.
You forgot the Shruhan.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, well, before he had Shruhan, he was using a glaive. So,
I will.
with that being said, it is a free extra bit of damage for a bonus action you're not technically using anymore.
So this is one thing that I have asked about for a few people who play this game longer than me, and they can't really give me an answer because it's always up to the DM. If you have a magical weapon that whenever you attack with said magical weapon, it deals bonus elemental damage, technically, that D4 will also cause that magical damage to happen again.
Yeah. I don't know why it wouldn't.
Well, some people were like, but it's not the blade of it, it's not this of it. I'm like, yeah, but the damage in itself is coming from the weapon. Why would it not? Like,
Well, if they're trying to lump it in with the original rules of, with dual wielding, where you've got your main attack that does all the damage, and your secondary attack just does the weapons damage. It doesn't get the benefit of your attack modifier. I think they're probably trying to lump it in with that because that is technically an extra modifier, but it's not that's the weapons modifier, not your ability modifier. So me personally, I'd allow it. Unless you're saying that you're going to bop him with the pommel, in which case, that's not necessarily on fire because that's the part you're holding.
Yeah, like, I personally
But-
think it should, but at the same time...
In this
it's one of
particular
those-
instance, it does say you're hitting it with the back of the weapon. So no, I don't think I would allow the elemental damage because the back of the weapon is not going to be on fire. Because it literally says the opposite end of the weapon. So if the blade has poison damage and you hit him with the butt, it's only bludgeoning damage because the pommel is not going to be poisoned.
I'll go ahead and shatter your whole argument with the change of weapon. Bow staff.
Okay, but the bow staff doesn't have heavy and reach.
Does it not?
No. Rory. Thank you, Nim.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I personally would still, because the weapon itself is enchanted, and if you're using a part of the weapon as a weapon, I would, but personal preference.
I don't think they'd infuse the pommel with the magic. I think they'd leave that to the blade.
Yeah.
Like I said, personal preference.
Yeah.
Well, thank God you're not DMing. Moving right along.
Rude, but
We have Resilient up next. It's a 4th level feat. No prerequisites. Choose one ability in which you are lacking a saving throw proficiency. Increase the chosen ability score by 1 to a maximum of 20. That's weirdly specific. But you also gain saving throw proficiency with the chosen ability. So if you don't have proficiency with your wisdom saving throw, you gain proficiency in it, and you gain a +1 to your wisdom. So, kind of makes sense. I mean, getting
What is
proficiency
this?
in a saving throw is really good.
You said resilient?
Yeah.
Choose one ability which you like. Oh, okay. I read it wrong.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just like I was just reading it incorrectly. So
It is worded a little strangely. Next up, we've got Ritual Caster, 4th level feat. You have to have Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma at 13 or higher. You get to pick whichever one of those you want to increase by 1. With ritual spells, choose 2 first level spells that have the ritual tag from the Arcane, Divine, or Primal spell lists. Oh, and so I guess technically you could take one from either with the way that's worded. You always have those 2 spells prepared, and you can cast them without any spell slots you have. The spell's spellcasting ability is the ability increased by this feat. You've got Quick Ritual. With this benefit, you can cast a ritual spell that you have prepared using its regular casting time rather than the extended time for a ritual. Doing so doesn't require a spell slot. Once you cast a spell in this way, you cannot do it again until you finish a long rest. So basically, a ritual spell generally takes about 10 minutes to cast ritually. What that's saying is that once per long rest, you can take that 10 minutes, make it take 1 action, 6 seconds to cast a spell for free without using a spell slot.
very good.
It's pretty dope. I mean, that's basically
free?
Brick being able to cast Identify just immediately once a day.
Yeah.
For free?
It's free real estate.
Now, you would still need the material components, but it would not consume a spell slot. What's interesting, though, is that it doesn't say whether or not you can use these spells with spell slots or not. Oh, you can cast them with any spell slots you have. I just breezed right over it.
As a quick aside,
Mhm.
Ian, speaking of material components, did you see what I sent you this morning?
With the creepy dude with the makeup on?
Yep. Yeah, that's the one.
I watched it, don't remember it. It's been a day.
Fair
I'll have to
enough.
watch it again later on. All right, next up, we've got Sentinel. It's a 4th level feat. You have to have proficiency with any martial weapon. You increase your strength or dexterity by 1, and you get Guardian, which immediately after a creature within 5 feet of you takes the disengage action or hits a target other than you with an attack, you can make an opportunity attack against that creature. So even if someone takes the disengage action, you can bonk them. You also get Halt. When you hit a creature within an opportunity attack, the creature's speed becomes 0 for the rest of the turn, meaning no more movement, no dash action, they are stuck. You basically grabbed him by the collar, bonked him on the head, and said, no, you're staying here.
You're grounded, mister.
No,
Yeah.
puppy, that's a bad puppy.
Nim, you used to have Sharpshooter, correct?
Yeah.
Well, you might like this a little bit because it's a 4th level feat, and the prerequisite is just to have proficiency with any martial weapon.
What?
You increase your dexterity by 1. You have bypass cover, so your ranged attacks with weapons ignore half cover and 3/4 cover.
Oh.
You can fire within melee, so if an enemy is within 5 feet of you, you no longer have disadvantage on your attacks. And you have long shots. Attacking at long range does not impose disadvantage on your ranged attack rolls with weapons. So if you have a ranged weapon that's like 30 to 60, between 0 and 30, you attack normally. Between 30 and 60, you would have disadvantage. Sharpshooter, you can just shoot up to 60 feet away. Oh, we already went over the mounted combatant feat, so you missed that.
Is that
Back
why
for
you
him.
were asking about Rory?
Yeah,
Oh.
because I was saying that that's what you were really looking forward to doing in Zeke's campaign, and then I tried to remember the horses' names, and I can only remember Duke.
Horse is that?
Right on along, we've got Shield Master next, 4th level. You have to have shield training. You increase your strength by 1, and you get Shield Bash. If you attack a creature within 5 feet of you as part of the attack action and hit with a melee weapon, you can immediately bash the target with your shield if it's equipped, forcing the target to make a strength saving throw against a DC equal to 8, plus your strength modifier, plus your proficiency bonus. On a failed save, you knock the target prone or push it 5 feet away. You can use this benefit only once on each of your turns. That's
now
massive.
that compared, I was gonna say that compared to fucking bopping him with the pommel of the bip. It's night and day.
Yeah. Now, granted,
What?
they can still save against
Compared
this.
to polearm, it's night and day.
I don't. Okay.
So, Zach, imagine this.
Okay.
You're a fighter. You've got a sword and a shield. You
Yeah.
go up to a guy. You hit him. You land an attack. You immediately shield bash them. They fail the save. You say, I'm going to knock them prone.
Yeah.
You're a fighter. You've got 2 more attacks plus your action surge giving you 3 more attacks. You have 5 attacks at advantage. That's massive in melee combat.
Yeah, I was just saying like how compared to the polearm's D4 damage as a bonus action versus a shield knocking someone prone. I mean,
Oh yeah. Like it's not as good.
Sorry, my dad
You
just
know.
texted me saying that him and my mom got Comfort Plus on their flight across the pond.
Oh man.
Yeah, well, they're flying space available, so if there was a space open, they were going to get on it. And if not, they were going to be stuck in fucking Atlanta. But yeah,
the
my ticket's
D4 is
paid for, so I don't
negligible.
get to move. I'm stuck in economy where the fuck I am.
The D4 is negligible, but like you do get the whole 10-foot like
Something enters your
range
bubble, you
attack.
get to hit it.
that's
Yeah.
true.
So, like, but it's like I definitely see where you're coming from there. The shield does feel like it's got more going for it.
Yeah,
Yeah, having that extra reach and being able to use your reaction to attack something that thought it could squeak by you is good.
amazing.
But being able to knock something onto the ground and just kick the shit out of it is mass. Not just that, but everyone else in your group would be able to come and pile on as well, theoretically.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, accounting for the entering the bubble, I'd say both of those feats are pretty well like on the same playing field.
Mm-hmm.
Just I don't know, just purely from the bonus action edition standpoint, I was just like, that seems like very much different than just D4 damage for the shield,
Well,
and I'm here for it.
now, if you think about it too, if you were to take that Polar Mastery with Sentinel,
I forget what Sentinel
hold on,
is. You
I'm
keep talking
curious.
about it, but
If you're asking about that interaction, yes, that is a thing, Ian.
no, it wouldn't. It
again,
wouldn't
I
count.
don't know what Sentinel is.
So
Why?
Sentinel, basically, if you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, so they're leaving your combat bubble, their speed becomes 0, which means they cannot move, they cannot take the dash action, they are stuck there.
Yeah.
Does it say it's an attack of opportunity?
It says
on
with
Polearm?
an opportunity attack. So
Yeah.
with that pole strike, that's not an opportunity of attack. That's a reactive strike. It's different. It doesn't technically count.
No. I just thought you meant the. Okay, no. I thought you just
No.
meant like the 10-foot range that you
Yes,
have.
I was. I was trying to factor that into the pole arm mastery because if it was just, if you were able to lump them together, because a reaction is the person is in melee combat
Before he
with
even
you.
reaches you, dead stop.
Yeah, exactly. Or if they're trying to shirk by you to go get someone that's behind you because you're tied up with someone else, you go stab. You're not going anywhere.
Well, at the same time, an opportunity attack, is that only 5 feet or is that just the range of your attack?
It is the
It's the
range of
range
your
of your
attack,
attack.
but they have to be leaving that combat bubble.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see kind of what you're saying, but like at the same
Yeah.
time, that's still like 10 foot. You can have somebody stop 10 feet
Yeah,
away from you still.
But you wouldn't need polar mastery for the sentinel
Yeah.
feat to take effect in that sense. It would be nice if the polar mastery worked as soon as they came into your bubble. You basically just fucking stabbed them in the thigh and said, "No! Social distancing!"
Yeah, that would be. Really
It. I will say it's more coverage as opposed to like stacking onto one thing, which is fine. It would be cool if they had an interaction together,
Yeah,
but still,
there was a
it's covering its
potential,
bases.
but the wording there is very specific, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. The last little bit of the what the fuck was it called? Shield Master is interpose shield. If you are subjected to an effect that allows you to make a dexterity saving throw to only take half damage, you can use your reaction to take no damage if you succeed on the saving throw and are wielding a shield, interposing your shield between yourself and the source of the effect. Which is kind of nice, but you have to use your reaction for it. So
taking no damage from a spell?
Right, but I'm just saying, as opposed to like the mounted combat that we were talking about, if you succeed on a saving throw, you just don't take damage. This requires you to sacrifice your reaction to do that. It's still very good because that's no damage if you succeed.
Yeah.
But
I'm looking at it from
it
the
is still
level of, like,
technically
fireball.
taking. No, you're right, but compared to like evasion that the rogue just gets, or that the mounted combat where you're just blanket, if you succeed, no damage. If you fail, half damage. This, it's the same thing, but you're also having to take your reaction out of the picture for that turn.
Yeah.
Skulker is the next one up, 4th level feat. You have to have a dexterity of 13 or higher, and you increase your dexterity by 1. You have blind sight with a range of 10 feet. Fog of War, exploiting the distractions of battle. You have advantage on stealth checks you make as part of the hide action during combat. You also have Sniper. If you make an attack roll while hidden and re-roll the misses, making the attack roll doesn't end... Hold on.
Yeah, that's sounding weird.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you make an attack roll while hidden and the roll misses, making the attack roll doesn't end the hidden condition on you. So basically, if you successfully hide and you fired and you missed, you're still hidden.
They still don't know where you are. Yeah.
Correct.
That's pretty cool.
That's very useful.
We got Speedster next. That's 4th level feat. You have to have a dexterity or constitution at 13 plus. You get to increase your speed or constitution by 1. Your speed increases by 10 feet when you are not wearing heavy armor. You can dash over difficult terrain, so when you take the dash action on your turn, difficult terrain doesn't cost you extra movement for the rest of that turn. Oh, good God. My mom had to brag to the fucking trivia friend group. Mute my phone or Navi's going to be screaming at me all night.
Hey!
Yeah, my dad was nice and only texted me and my sister, so at best he'd get like 2 reactions out of it. There's like 20 people in that fucking text chain. Thank God my mom never listens to these podcasts or anything. So, we have Spell Sniper next. That's a 4th level feat. You have to either be able to cast spells or have the Pact Magic feature. You can increase your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma by 1. And you have bypass cover. Your attack rolls for spells ignore half cover and 3/4 cover. You can cast in melee, so being within 5 feet of an enemy doesn't impose disadvantage on your attacks rolls with spells. And you have increased range. So when you cast a spell that has a range of at least 10 feet that requires you to make an attack roll, you can increase the spell's range by 60 feet.
Yeah.
That is an amazing feat.
You're pretty much getting the sorcerer's...
Excellent to magic ICBM.
Yeah. You're pretty much getting the sorcerer's meta magic kind of thing with sorcery points.
But for free.
Yeah.
I mean, making your spells ignore half and 3/4 cover, that is monstrous.
Slightly guided magic missile.
Cast Fireball. But I mean, think about that, though. I mean, Fireball has... I don't know why I keep closing D&D Beyond. I'm just going to keep looking shit up. Fireball has a range of 150 feet. That motherfucker now reaches 210 feet. Like, good God.
You're literally launching an ICBM.
Yeah, an intercontinental missile.
Intercontinental magic missile.
I'm gonna kill them with what? The power of the sun.
Except this time it's 3.
We attacked the cleric. The wizard dropped the sun on us. Twice.
Well, speaking of that, we've got Warcaster next. That's a 4th level feat. Do you just snore?
No, I just
I think
burped.
he burped.
Oh,
Yeah.
burped.
But I
He
said
was falling asleep.
while I did it.
You have to be able to be. You have to be a spellcaster or have the Pact Magic feature. You can increase your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma by 1. For concentration, you have advantage on Constitution saving throws you make to maintain your concentration. That's pretty fucking massive.
That's pretty strong.
You have reactive spell. When a creature provokes an opportunity attack from you by moving out of your reach, you can use your reaction to cast a spell at the creature rather than making an opportunity attack. The spell must have a casting time of 1 action and must target only that creature. So, no opportunity fireball.
Yeah, I see myself.
Aw.
You exit my range? Big mistake, fucko.
Yes, I would like to hold my opportunity attack for when he is 60 feet away, please.
I love
I will
that shit.
hold opportunity
Think
attack
about
disintegrate.
All I'm gonna say to this is like,
Ooh.
imagine fireball. I use fireball and opportunity of attack. He's right next to you. I didn't ask how close he was to me.
So this other part is also very nice for its somatic components. You can perform somatic components of a spell when you have weapons or a shield in one or both hands. That's pretty
Start
big.
waving your shield around.
Yeah.
Supposed to make like an S sign. you just grab your shield, you just like pop it off the spindle a little bit. It has this rotating bearing. You just spin it. It hypnotizes the enemy. That's your somatic component.
Wee 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 wee.
Be sure you paint it spiraled.
Lastly, we have weapon training as a 4th level feat. There are no prerequisites. You increase your strength or dexterity by 1, and you gain martial weapon proficiency, which is pretty big. Martial weapon basically means that you can use any weapon the game has. So, with that being said, we shall
Backtrack.
now... Huh?
Backtrack.
I'm scrolling. Shut your mouth.
Backtrack.
We're going to go back up to the epic boons. These are features you can only get at 20th level. So,
I haven't heard about this. I'm excited.
one thing to keep in mind, if I understand the rules correctly, I don't know that you'll be able to get these if you multi-class.
Yeah, that's gonna be this is gonna be the biggest thing, or not even multi-class wise, but I'll wait for some of these to be over, and then I'm gonna express my I don't like this because stupid.
You're not going to like it
Explanation.
because you're not going to get it until the end game, and you want it now. We get it.
No. I'm not gonna be able to get it at all. But let's keep going.
Well, so the reasoning behind that is that getting these 20th level feats are specifically stated in, if you're looking at the Ranger and the Rogue, when you reach level 20 as that class.
Is it expert or warrior group?
Well, no,
Is
just
it-
any group.
Were epic boons a thing before?
No.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
it says from what I'm reading here, an epic boon is a special power only available to 20th level characters. I don't think it specifies in a class.
well, but if you scroll further up the list to, let's see, so looking at the Ranger class, at 19th level, you get a feat, you gain ability score improvement feat or another feat of your choice. 20th level, epic boon. You gain the epic boon of fortitude feat or another epic boon feat of your choice. That is specifically saying you're 20th level in Ranger. If you put even one level in another class, you could only get to level 19 in Ranger, meaning you can only get the 19th level feat increase. So if you multi-class,
Yeah.
you cannot get an epic boon by the way
I
the
mean-
rules are currently worded.
You can. I don't know. I just
Well, because
It-
if I'm looking at this, at 19th level, that is the last time you can get the ability score improvement feat or another feat of your choice, right? The prerequisite for the epic boons is to be 20th level. If you reach 20th level in a single class, that's when you get the 20th level epic boon. If you multi-class, you won't get that.
That is being said, unless they increase the maximum level at some point, but
Highly doubtful.
highly
Unless,
agreed.
again, this is as it is currently worded, and that is my own personal interpretation of the rules therein.
That being said, certain classes will not be able to take certain epic boons. Period.
Correct.
I mean, I don't think I would agree with that. I don't know why. I just think it's an oversight, and like they just had to include it somewhere to like that you get an epic boon at 20th level. It doesn't count like.
And that's why I'm saying, as it is currently worded, because I'm sure there's a bunch of people out there smashing their fucking keyboard, which actually will be tomorrow when the survey opens, being like, burger, multi-class and don't get epic. And maybe they'll fix it. I don't know. But regardless, that's me as playing the DM, that is my interpretation of it. Hopefully they change that wording the next time it comes around or whenever they decide to actually readdress these particular feats. But
I mean, we
let's
just
actually
ignore
look
that anyway.
nah. Anyway.
You're a dick.
Yep. So, the first one we have, and again, I'm not going to repeat it every time. These are 20th level feats. Epic Boon of Combat Prowess. It's for Expert or Warrior group. When you miss with a melee attack, you can hit instead. Once you use this benefit, you cannot use it again until you roll initiative. That is a new recharge feature that I've never seen before. Because normally it's like short or long rest or like dawn or dusk. This refreshes every initiative.
When you miss a melee weapon attack, you don't.
You missed, but did I?
Wait, what do you mean? Oh!
My biggest. So I'm gonna go and just say this one right there. Like, I am not a fan of the fact that only warriors or experts are allowed to take this, unless they again, as written, like, so for example, if you're like a warlock that's in melee, or for example a tempest cleric, because I'm playing.
And you're
one.
playing it wrong.
No,
Kidding. Go on.
Fuck you. Like, that's like, obviously there are still other choices you have, but the fact that you're like not allowed to take something that may play into how you want to play your class.
Take one level. Well, actually, I was going to say take one level, but then you wouldn't get the 20.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't be able to take it now, Mr. Smarty Pants.
Mr. Rules as written? Fuck you.
No, you're
But
right,
again,
which is why I reneged.
You also, like, it's also take into account, I guarantee, like, if you talk to a DM and make a convincing enough argument that this is what you want, I mean, the DM trumps all. They can write whatever the hell they want in this book.
Oh, for sure.
But if the DM says, you can do this, you can do it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what the other epic ones are yet.
We're not going to be in the middle of a session and me say like, "Oh yes, Mr. Zahn the cleric, you could take this thing." Fucking Wizards of the Coast aren't going to raid my house and beat the snot out of me. Follow the fucking rules.
He took the wrong epic beat. Get him!
Beat his ass.
Fucking neckbeards wearing fucking Gandalf
Fedoras.
cloaks just drag you away.
Yeah,
God.
to their mom's basement.
He broke the rules, so you must overreact immediately.
So, anyway, the next one. Epic Boon of Dimensional Travel. Expert or Mage Group. You can cast a Misty Step spell without expending a spell slot. Once you use this benefit, you cannot use it again until you roll initiative or finish a short or long rest.
Ooh.
I
Step.
don't agree with this being an epic boon. I think this is good, but like, is that really?
Misty
It is
Step's
free
really
Misty
fucking
Step
useful.
every
I'm not-
fucking battle.
No, it's a short or long rest.
Or until
Every fucking battle.
until you roll initiative.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I
or
didn't see
a
the
short or
initiative
long
part.
rest.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't see the initiative part. My apologies.
I mean,
No,
if
then
you-
never mind. That's actually a little better than I thought.
That's pretty fucking good. That is, like, I've said this a few times, but after the mushroom fight, Brick messaged me. He was like, "Hey, just want to say I was really
Wait.
frustrated in that fight because I couldn't ever get to her, and she always succeeded on the saving throws against my lightning lure, and I just felt like I couldn't do anything." It's like, and
And what are you going to do about this
Yeah.
next time?
Yeah, you need to be prepared for the fact that shit's not going to be in range. What are you going to do about it? I'm sorry that was frustrating. That was kind of the point, though. I gave her that
Yeah.
ability to keep you fuckers away from her. That was
Well,
the point.
I don't know how I feel about this epic boon because it says as an action you can cast the Misty Step spell. It is usually a bonus action.
It just says you can cast
actually-
a Misty Step spell without expending a spell slot.
It says as an action you
Right.
can cast a Misty Step spell.
Well, it says you can cast the Misty Step spell without expending a spell slot. But if you look at the Misty Step spell, it is an action.
Yeah.
It is a bonus action.
Yeah, so you would cast it as a bonus action.
Yeah.
The source that I'm reading says as an action, so I think that might be a mistake.
I was
A
about to say-
typographical mistake.
Yeah,
Never mind.
whatever you're like. Ian and I are reading the one that's. This is the one from
Yeah.
Wizards, right?
Yeah, this is the PDF I downloaded from Wizards of the Coast.
I'm just following along any way that I can because I'm bad at finding shit. So
I can send it to you real quick if you want.
nah, I have this.
Oh, well,
It's
it's,
Whiskey
it's
Wednesday.
wrong!
Piece of shit. Yeah, I know.
So I guess, I mean,
I like it.
for it being a 20th level, I could kind of see
like
it
it.
being maybe a little bit sooner
Underwhelming.
because Misty Step is a second level spell. But then again,
Granted, at 20th level, combat prowess isn't that impressive either. Just like you,
Yeah.
you miss. No, I don't. And this just like okay.
I guess.
you hit anyway.
and I mean, it's a great utility. You can close a gap or you can get out of a sticky situation. Yeah, it's pretty good. There are definitely better ones, and we'll get to them here in a second. The next one we have. Would you guys stop fucking reacting to my mother's text message? Christ, you're gonna kill my phone. You have Epic Boon of Energy Resistance. It's an
That
expert
one I
or
don't
mage.
have. Send me the link. This stupid fucking website. Fucking.
Whiskey Wednesdays medal. If you go in
Okay.
there, it's actually like you'll find the link in there just a little far.
Oh
out.
yeah. The expert class is
Thank you,
PDF.
sir. Wait, it's a PDF. I don't want to do it. Okay, let's see.
Well, tough.
And it gave me a say here to be caught up where the fuck.
Here, dude.
Page
We are on
18.
page 18.
Figure it out, bud.
Fucking
Pitter-patter.
figure it
We're
out.
Moving on. Epic
Fucking
Boon of Energy
pitter-patter.
Resistance. You have to be an expert or a mage. You gain resistance to one of the following damage types of your choice: acid, cold, fire, lightning, necrotic, poison, psychic, radiant, or thunder. Whenever you finish a short rest or a long rest, you can meditate and change that damage type choice. That is a
That's
20th
fucking
level
strong.
feat.
Okay, so I do
That's-
actually have a question about this.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So there are ways that you can get resistance to certain elements in other ways. If you have 2 resistances, do you gain immunity?
No.
I think it would depend on whether that specific source allows you to upgrade your resistance to immunity.
Generally
Generally,
speaking,
no, though.
You can't get like 2 rings of fire resistance and become fire immune. You just wasted money on another fire resistance ring. Unfortunately, that's not how that works.
Give it to an orphan.
I was genuinely curious because I've never.
Right.
Yeah.
There's rings of fire resistance?
It was an example, probably.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't
That's
doubt
pretty
it.
fucking strong though. Like you're going into the poison mires or anything like that. You're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna resist poison.
And then you're done with that. It's like, all right, time to
Take
go
a short
fight the
siesta.
lightning dragon. Let me just take a quick kit.
Yeah.
It's just doing the like didgeridoo throat singing. Just I can resist lightning now. Next up, we've got the Epic Boon of Fortitude. Your hit point maximum increases by 40. Oh, there's no prerequisite to this one, by the way. Just anyone can take this one. You regain additional hit points equal to your Constitution modifier. Sorry, whenever you regain hit points, you regain additional hit points equal to your Constitution modifier. You can regain these additional hit points no more than once per round.
Once per round, still. That's very fucking often to be gaining. What's your con modifier at that point? Probably
At
like
20th
fucking
level?
6.
Hopefully.
Yeah, if you're regaining 6 points every round if you're healing,
Yeah.
an additional 6, that's pretty fucking strong. I like it.
Someone just uses healing word and like, hey, dumbass, do better. And you slap yourself in the face. You're right. I will do better. And you're
I'm
just...
so strong.
I misread this one. I heard irresistible obese, but it's irresistible offense.
I am irresistibly offended.
It has to be expert or warrior. The damage you deal always ignores resistance. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because no, you won't be able to do it.
Doesn't affect immunities.
Well, if you really think about it, if
It
you
doesn't.
take for example, like an Eldritch Knight that can cast spells, you can now cast spells as a warrior that does not, or that cannot be immune, or not immune, or
Yeah.
resistant
Well, I mean,
to-
with the expert class, you've got arcane tricksters and you've got bards.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's massive as a 20th level.
That's pretty fucking strong.
Epic Boon of Luck, only available to the expert group.
That's stupid.
I knew you were
You
gonna say
just
that.
don't like the expert group. How's your face?
Immediately after you roll a d20 for a d20 test, you can roll a d10 and add the number rolled to the test. Once you use this benefit, you cannot use it again until you roll initiative or finish a short or long rest. So basically, you get a d20 plus a d10 once per initiative or once per short or long rest.
Get a little temporary inspiration every battle.
More or less.
I mean, like, it's cool that expertise are getting these, but like at the same time, I don't logically see a reason why anybody couldn't take that.
The
Because
expert
they
group are better
decided
than
to
you.
luck to the expert group. I don't.
It's an incentive to play one class over another. If you just give everything to every class, then what's the fucking point? You've got Epic Boon of the Night Spirit coming up on the next one. It's expert or mage group. While within dim light or darkness, you can become invisible as an action. You remain invisible until immediately after you take an action or a reaction. So you basically just cronk your way into being invisible. Just
You nightingale that bitch.
yeah, basically. Good reference.
Thank you.
That is very useful.
Epic Boon of Peerless Aim, expert or warrior. If you make a ranged attack against a target in range and miss, you can cause the attack to hit instead. It's the same thing as the combat prowess
Yes,
one.
but it's the range version of the melee thing.
Exactly. Epic Boon of Recovery, no prerequisite. You can use a bonus action to regain a number of hit points equal to half your hit point maximum. Once you use this benefit, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. In addition, you succeed on every death saving throw that is not a 1.
Jesus
Damn.
Christ.
Yeah.
Hey, Kirsten! I got the shit for you!
I just picture fucking some absolute fucking Goliath of a human laying flat on his back, unconscious, just turns, eyes shoot open, head turns to the right, spits out blood, I'm ready to go.
Just you're laying there for one turn. Give us a minute. Next turn, just a minute. Next turn, let's go.
Seriously, a bonus action giving you half your hit point maximum.
Yeah.
This one is once per long rest, though.
I mean, still, if you're
That's-
a freaking...
Yeah. If you're a barbarian,
fucking
you've got
strong,
like
I
200
agree.
plus HP by 20th level. You're giving yourself 100 hit points back. Just
You make a
because.
fucking healer blush with that kind of fucking healing.
the Tarrasque just kind of turns tail. Just, nope. Fucking absolutely decimates him with a legendary action. He just comes right back up, spits the fucking blood from his mouth, just go jam. Holy fuck.
Let's see.
Tarrasque bites his arm off, immediately grows back another arm.
This one is very simple. It's available to everyone. Epic Boon of Skill Proficiency. You gain proficiency in all skills.
Yes.
Pretty strong, kind of boring. I would
Pretty
never
strong,
take this.
kind of boring. I'll give you that.
I mean,
you're getting a +6 on every single roll. Granted, it's at 20th level.
it's not bad. Like, truth be told, it
It's-
doesn't
yeah.
sound very flavorful. But if you're looking to be like the god of everything, yeah, that's
I mean-
kind
Jack of all
of.
trades.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Actually, if you're a
I
bard,
guess
you
I'm
wouldn't
coming.
need this.
I was gonna say, yeah, like if coming from someone who's a bard, like even with like half proficiency, you can skirt by on like
but
pretty much all of
bards-
your skill checks.
Bards basically get this by being a bard. Like, they start off with half proficiency, but don't they get full proficiency by the time they're max level?
Oh, I don't know.
Am I not making
But-
that up? Hold on. Let me look this up, because I'm pretty sure I'm right, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. When I'm building my characters, though, I usually keep my proficiencies in mind. So I'm usually trying to get a pretty good spread of proficiency as it is. So I don't get as many proficiencies from this as the average player might. That might be influencing my decision, but yeah, I just don't think I'd ever see myself taking this really.
Well, so it's not in the original bard, but let me look in the new bard stuff here real quick. Rogue, Ranger. Okay, let's see. Jack of all trades. You can add half your proficiency bonus round down to an ability check you make that uses skill proficiency you lack. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Subclass feature, bardic inspiration. Feat, expertise, subclass, magical secrets. Subclass, further magical secrets. Bardic inspiration. Nope, I was wrong. Still.
Get him next time, champ.
Yep. I can't be all-knowing.
Try as you may.
Epic boon of speed. You have to be an expert or a warrior. Your speed increases by 30 feet.
Charge and targe, baby.
I don't know that I'd take that.
I mean, it depends on your playstyle, really. If you're the zippiest fucking barbarian to ever, if you're Usain Bonk, fucking go for it.
I mean, oh my god. Can you imagine taking this on a rogue or a monk, actually? Because a monk gets Step of the Wind. So they can basically move, Step of the Wind, bonus action run. That's fucking...
I'm gonna say this. I actually thought about it. Like, I saw this one before. I was like, I'd take this as on because at 20th level, you can also fly.
So 60 feet of movement, yeah.
60 feet of flight. Oh no, it's a Wharton. Never mind.
Well, now,
yeah.
in all fairness, these features are only saying expert or warrior and mage. There hasn't been a single priest one yet. So these are like the first round. So we just need to be patient and give it time.
I have to
We'll-
have
we'll
it
get
now. My fix.
Epic boon of undetectability. Has to be an expert. You can't be seen or heard by any means, magical or non-magical, while you are hidden.
That's impressive.
That's also a fucking nightingale ability right there. God damn.
It's pretty fucking strong. Epic boon of the unfettered. It's expert or warrior. As a bonus action, you can take the disengage action, which also ends the grappled and the restrained conditions from you.
Epic boon of fuck off.
Yeah.
Epic boon of goodbye.
That's basically at 20th level, you're giving yourself the rogue feature that they get at level 3.
Yeah.
Which is
it's
still
kinda
really,
weird.
really strong considering...
Does that also end grappled?
It doesn't end the grappled condition. But as a rogue, as a bonus action, you can take the disengage action. So, yeah, it is nice as a bonus action to just say, no, I'm not grappled anymore. Just wiggle my way out.
Slay love snag.
I hate that fucking video so much.
Why?
I think I just hate it because of how many people just love it.
I'm a snake.
So good.
You're a
though.
hipster, is what you're saying.
No, I'm anti-hipster.
You're just like, it's too mainstream.
Well, it's not even that it's mainstream. It's just, I don't know. It frustrates me.
Everyone has their meme that just pisses them the fuck off.
So we've already been going for an hour and 40, so I'm just going to kind of skim through the glossary terms here and see if there's anything worth really talking about. Because some of them are, the ability checks, armor training. None of these have really changed. The artisan tools, the attack action, attack roll, arcane spells, bark skin.
Barkspin.
Shut up.
Just a dog spinning around in a circle.
Bark, 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 bark. Let's see. D20 tests, the dash action, difficult terrain, divine spells, exhausted. I don't remember if we've talked about this one already or not, but I actually really like where this one has gone.
Did they change exhaustion?
Yes. So the original exhaustion, I want to cover that first just so that this next one will make sense. The original exhaustion had 6 levels. If you got 6 levels of exhaustion, you're just fucking dead. The first level of exhaustion gives you disadvantage on ability checks. You get exhaustion by not sleeping, being in harsh conditions like severe cold, severe heat. There's also spells and abilities that can give you exhaustion. So, second level of exhaustion would have your speed. Third level gives you disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. Fourth level, your hit point maximum is halved. At fifth level, your speed is reduced to 0. And at sixth level, you're just fucking dead. It's a lot to remember. There's not an easy way to remember it. It kind of sucks.
There's a table you gotta have on standby for exhaustion. Yeah.
Which, granted, D&D Beyond makes it very easy. You click on exhaustion, it gives you the table
D&D
right there. D&D Beyond. This new version, I like a lot. It can be a little bit more detrimental, but it's a lot easier to remember what the fuck is happening. So you can have up to 10 levels of exhaustion. At 10 levels, you're dead. For each point of exhaustion, any D20 test that you roll, you subtract your levels of exhaustion. So if you have 3 levels of exhaustion, you roll a D20, subtract 3 from that result, do your other modifiers. It's very simple. Your spell save DC is also reduced by that exhaustion amount. So if you cast Fireball and your spell DC is 16, it's now 13. You lose a point of exhaustion after completing a long rest. So I think the main thing that kind of frustrates me the most about the current exhaustion is that it's such a rare thing to encounter that you don't really have the time to really memorize that and just have it locked away in the back of your brain. And with this one, boom, it's so easy. 3 levels minus 3 to these 2 things. So much easier to keep track of.
Just have 10 wizards with sickening radiance. Just everyone gets... Just target one motherfucker with 10 levels of exhaustion. Just die on the spot.
Why not?
Heart stops.
Just exhaust a Tarrasque. Immediately, Tarrasque is gone. How much health does it have? Not anymore.
I cast permanent nap.
Meanwhile, there's the barbarian on the back of its head trying in vain to make it go to sleep, just bonking it. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Look, guys, I did it! Oh my god.
That's amazing.
The grappled condition is slightly updated, I think. So your speed is 0 and cannot change. You have disadvantage on attack rolls against any target other than your grappler. I think that's the part that's really updated here. The grappler can drag or carry you, but the grappler suffers a slowed condition while moving, which basically halves your movement. Unless you are tiny or 2 or more sizes smaller than the grappler. So that's why that grappling feat was so good, because you could grapple someone and move your normal movement speed because you're not hindered by it. You're very good at kidnapping.
You basically just bonk that guy. Just go, I don't know you, and then you run away.
That's my purse. I don't know you. The other thing, so with the old grapple, like we said earlier in the stream here, you would have an ability check or an ability contest. So it would be your acrobatics against the person you're trying to grapple's acrobatics. The way the grappling works in OneD&D is you just have to beat their AC and they're grappled. You don't deal any damage, but you've grabbed them, they're grappled. When you want to escape, that is when you can make a dexterity or strength saving throw against the grapple's escape DC. That's the big thing. It used to only be acrobatics, which was strength. So monks, theoretically, were great at grappling, but they could never really beat something big and muscular because it's a strength check, not a dexterity check. Now
This reminds me of something. Now that we're just shooting the shit about glossary terms,
Sure.
I'm going to insert it after you're done.
No, that's pretty much it. You make the escape DC at the end of each of your turns, which would end the condition on a success. The condition also ends if the grappler is incapacitated or if something moves you outside the grapple's range without using your speed. Misty Step being a prime example. But no, that's it. What you got?
I forget. I forget where I found this, so apologies for not giving credit here. But I found this DM that was saying, like, you ever want to freak the fuck out of your players and actually inflict horror on them? Try to kidnap their dead. Try to kidnap their unconscious. They were like in some hell realm, and then like one of their party members went down because they got just really fucked on the back line, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And then as they go down, they see a portal open up behind them, and then two demons of some form. I don't know if they were imps or like proper demons, but still, they just come out and they grab him and they start to yank him through the portal. So it made them like, oh god, have to go take care of that super fucking quick. Otherwise, they lose their fucking cleric forever.
That's
Where's he
fucking
going?
terrifying.
Oh.
Bring out your dad. No.
Not dead yet.
I'm so happy. So here's a spell I actually really want to touch on because this kind of goes along the same lines as like the Bard's Inspiration spell, where it's no longer preemptive, it's reactionary. The way the guidance used to be, and I'm gonna pull the spell up so I can say it word for word. So you touch one ruling creature, and then once before the spell ends, it lasts for a minute, it's concentration. The target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to one ability check of its choice. It can roll the die before or after them making the ability check. The spell then ends. Now, it's a reaction. It's still a cantrip, but it's a reaction, which you take in response to you or an ally within 30 feet of you failing an ability check. The range is 30 feet, so it's no longer a touch spell, it's instantaneous, and it's the same basic thing. You add a d4 to whatever ability check you're currently rolling. But the big thing, it's no longer concentration, and it's a reaction, and you only cast it if someone fails. So as soon as you like, oh, I'm going to go pick a lock. Well, you didn't quite meet it. Ah! Guidance! Boop! And you add a d4 and then you
should have
succeed.
nicked when you poked.
Yeah. Should have zigged when you should have zagged, dumbass. Oh, that's why I fell in the lava. Of course, V8 bonk.
As he's like falling off of the cliff, just like, you should have done this. He's just like, you're right. Just goes back, does it again.
I really don't like the change to heroic inspiration, and I really hope they don't keep it. If you roll a natural 1 on any d20 test, that's when you get inspiration with this current set of rules. Whereas before, if you rolled a natural 20, you got inspiration, which gave you advantage on your next roll. Their thought process.
I like it better. I don't know why you'd incentivize someone who's already doing well instead of giving a consolation prize to the fucker who just got fucked.
Well, and that's the description. It says, this heroic inspiration represents a character's resolve to do better after fumbling an attempt. So lore-wise, it makes sense, but I also feel like it kind of detracts from the severity of a natural one. Like, getting a natural 1 is supposed to be bad. Rolling a natural 20 is supposed to be good.
And it'll still be bad. It's just a you'll get them next time champ opportunity.
Well, what's really funny is that they have the only one at a time. So you can never have more than one instance of heroic inspiration. If something gives you heroic inspiration and you already have it, you can give heroic inspiration to a player character in your group who lacks it. So basically, the way I'm reading that is like, you fail so fucking hard, everyone else tries harder because you suck so bad.
Fucking Sokka's been rolling natural ones all fucking campaign, and then he rolls another natural 1. My girlfriend turned into the moon. Zuko's like, that's rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy. It's Zuko just recounting his D&D experience.
Zuko gets his fucking heroic inspiration instead.
And that's how he lands
Christ.
May.
God.
Hidden condition hasn't really changed. The hide action hasn't changed. Incapacitated. I read that as flatulence, but it's influence.
Debatable.
Inflatuance.
Let's see. The influence is basically, it's weird that they're putting this in the player handbook instead of leaving it in the Dungeon Master's Guide. But basically the idea is that each NPC has 3 states towards the party: indifferent, friendly, or hostile. And depending on how those are, there's a DC check to try to sway their opinions one way or the other. What kind of bothers me about this is that the way that and I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's like a page and a half long, but it's kind of making it so that the players basically have control over what the DM's NPCs are doing. In the sense that even if a creature is hostile towards the party, theoretically, the party could still convince it to help them, which I don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah. I mean,
again, it's situational, and of course,
Yeah.
the DM always has the last word at most tables. But there are some people out there that are severe rule lawyers, and I can foresee this being a bit of a problem.
yeah, I would be sure to establish to the bard that's trying to fuck everyone, just like, look, I know it said there are 3 levels of influence. There's a 4th one. I want to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
This isn't hostile. This is I want to end your fucking lineage. You cannot convince them.
So,
Unless
like,
you are a god.
the thing that really bothers me here is the hostile creature's response. On a DC of 10, the creature offers no help but does no harm. On a DC of 20, the creature does as asked as long as no risks or sacrifices are involved. To me, if a creature is hostile towards you, they probably wouldn't stay around long enough for you to try to convince them. And if they're hostile towards you, like knife at your throat, ready to end your life, you'd have to have a really fucking compelling argument to stop them.
Well, picture this. The fucking barbarian has a knife or the fucking rogue has a knife to his throat. The barbarian is just slamming away at all of his party members. He has the knife against his throat. He's just like, the fuck you want me for? Go fucking get him! He seems to be more pressing of a concern. Fucking roll persuasion check, you know? Doesn't have to be like, listen, help me out here. It can just be, should be doing this instead.
I'm just saying that I'm not currently a fan of the way that it's worded. I feel like that should have been something left in the DM's guide. But
I agree.
Regardless, it's there. Table rules, you know, fucking figured out, pitter patter, moving on.
Pitter patter.
Invisible hasn't really changed. Nope. The jump action, light weapon property, long rest. That's all the same. Except for the interrupting the rest. I think that might be updated, or I just didn't pay that much attention when I was first reading it. Got move. And of course, I'm not going to address it to make myself not sound like a total idiot. Ritual casting, search action, we talked about that earlier. The slowed condition, it's basically limited your movement. Every movement that you would do is double the normal cost. So if you want to move 1 square, which is 5 feet, you're using 10 feet of your movement. Attack rolls against you have advantage, and you have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. The study action is a new one. You got a little bit of a chart here. It's Arcana, History, Investigation, Nature, and Religion. And it goes into further detail on what those might be. It's more for the DM to kind of like, oh, well, they said that they want to investigate this magical item, but none of them have identify. We'll make an Arcana check. Or, I want to go to the library and I want to look up what happened like 100 years ago. We'll make a history check. Or, to recall it, sorry. So you probably would use a study action to look something up. But anyway. Swim speed, tool proficiency.
Quick side note, Ian.
Sure.
Go back like a minute and 10 seconds in this song. Tell me what instrument this is and why is he going so fucking ham? Can the stream hear the music, by the way?
It's very quiet. I know the part you're talking about. I'm not sure. Trumpet?
No, it's like a fucking clapped out trumpet. There it is.
Yeah. Hold on, let's see. Oh, that's got to be a harmonica.
I don't know harmonicas go that range. I'm gonna have to Google this. Oh man.
For some songs, he forgoes the harmonica in favor of guitar, most often a 12-string. In addition, Popper has played the tin whistle on some recordings. That is absolutely a harmonica.
Oh god.
He is just killing it.
Fuck.
Let's see. Tremor sense is the same. Unarmed strike. So I'll read this word for word since we've referred to it a few times here with the grappling condition and all. An unarmed strike is a melee attack that involves you using your body to damage, grapple, or shove a target within your reach. Your bonus to hit with an unarmed strike equals your strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus. On a hit, your unarmed strike causes one of the following effects of your choice. Damage. The target takes bludgeoning damage equal to 1 plus your strength modifier. It's not generally much. The most damage you could do is 7. You can grapple. The target is grappled, and the grapple's escape DC equals 8 plus your strength plus your proficiency bonus. This grapple is possible only if the target is no more than 1 size larger than you, and if you have a hand free to grab the target. The third option is you can shove. You either push the target 5 feet away or knock the target prone. This shove is possible only if the target is no more than 1 size larger than you. What I really like about this is that, technically speaking, wizards and sorcerers can do this. They'd have to get really fucking lucky, but technically they could do it. Yeah, I mean, if you think that, like, this dude comes up to you, you're a wizard, you don't have the Warcaster feat, so you can't cast a spell. You just go, nyeh, and shove him. Well, now he's prone. All of a sudden, the barbarian and the warrior, their eyes light up, and they're like, oh, our time has come! And they go to rescue their wizard buddy. I mean, even you, as a wizard, you now have advantage on your next unarmed strike. Now, granted, anyone that's at range is kind of SOL, because if something is prone, you have disadvantage on ranged attacks. But if they are prone, they have disadvantage on melee attacks, which means that if you GTFO, even if they want to attack you with an attack of opportunity, they have disadvantage to do so, and then they have to take half their movement speed just to get up, they're probably not going to catch you.
I just picture a fucking wizard taking 30... He has 60 health, he takes 30 hit points of damage, he's just like, oh fuck. Action, shove, bonus action, help!
Damn.
Action shove. All my movement speed. Bonus action scream like a bitch. But
All right,
yeah.
you goobers.
Mhm.
I gotta pop out.
Doses. Thanks for joining.
But yeah, that's the great thing is that with unarmed strike, the bonus to your hit is, oh no, actually, so you wouldn't be able to use your dexterity to hit them because your unarmed strike is your strength modifier. So that kind of sucks. But you still have more of a chance of grappling something as a monk with this versus doing a strength contest. So it's still to your benefit as a monk to grapple shit now.
Right.
Yeah. I mean that more or less does it for everything else on this list. Anyone have anything that they want to revisit, go over again?
Kobolds.
Kobolds are on this
Go
list
back
at
to
the moment.
go back to the writing feats.
Yeah, I'll go back
Name's
to let's see, alphabet.
What
Fuck, what was it called?
I
Crossbow,
don't know.
dual wielder, charge, athlete. No, I think it was after the epics. Hold on.
Mounted combat.
That's it. Alphabet's hard. Keen mind. Mounted combat. This is a special for the Pez. It is a 4th level feat. You have to have proficiency in any martial weapon. Martial being the key word there. It is a prerequisite. You get an ability score increase of strength, dexterity, or wisdom. You can increase either one of those by 1. You've got the mount handler, so you have advantage on animal handling checks made to handle or train horses and other beasts employed as mounts. You've got mounted strike, so while mounted, you have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that is within 5 feet of your mount and at least one size smaller than it. Not you, the mount.
Ooh.
Leap aside. If your mount is subjected to an effect that allows it to make a dexterity saving throw to take only half damage, it instead takes no damage if it succeeds on a saving throw and only half damage if it fails. For your mount to gain this benefit, you must be riding it, and neither of you can be incapacitated.
Ooh.
Last but not least, we have Veer. While mounted, you can use your reaction to force an attack that hits your mount to hit you instead. And as I said before, you gotta protect the fluff.
Yeah.
So, I don't remember much about the original feat, but I think this is way better.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because Hoth.
because Hoth.
Hoth.
All right, so the original feat, let's see and compare. While you are mounted and aren't incapacitated, you gain the following benefits. You have advantage on melee attack rolls against any unmounted creature that is smaller than your mount. You can force an attack targeted at your mount to target you instead. If your mount is subjected to an effect that allows it to make a dex saving throw. So yeah, it's more or less exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Except
that's
you get the dexterity and strength, dexterity, or wisdom score increase, and you also get advantage on handling and training with this new feat.
Yeah.
That's actually one thing I've noticed tonight, since Metal and Nim, you guys kind of joined a little bit like partway through. Pretty much every single feat gives you an ability score increase of at least 1 point in something.
Ooh.
Oh, that's handy.
So you're never not hurting yourself. You're no longer hurting yourself choosing to take a feat instead of an ability score increase.
Right, because you still get a little bit of the best of both worlds.
Right, because the ability increase feat is 2 points in one of your choice or 1 point in two of your choice. Whereas if you take a feat, it is telling you what you can take an increase in.
Yeah.
Some of them gives you a choice like intelligence or wisdom, strength, dexterity, or wisdom. There's only really a few, like lightly armored. You gain the following armor training: light armor, medium armor, and shield. You do not get an ability score increase with that. It's also a first level feat. So it looks like all the fourth level feats give you the ability score increases.
Yeah.
See, there was at least one that I can think of that only gave you like a single. Oh, yeah. So like Polearm Master, increase your strength score by 1. You don't get a choice.
Yeah.
Now, granted, with all of these, you cannot increase your score above 20. So keep that in mind, that if you already have a strength of 20, you're going to be missing out on that if you take Polearm Master, because you don't get a choice.
You're already capped. Yeah.
Right. So that is something to keep an eye on. And most of these feats are not repeatable, these 4th level ones, except for the ability score increase. And of course, the, what was it? The not Magic Slayer. It's one of the other ones where you can get the resistances or something. A few of them are repeatable, but most of them not so much.
Yeah.
And even though I've been talking for over an hour and a half on basically just the feats, these are only some of them. Because not a single one of these feats touches a priest.
Yeah. But the priest touches... Okay.
Hey, sir. I saw the joke myself and I left it. I'm slightly proud that you went for it, but let's knock it back a few notches. Thank you, Nim. All in all, I know that... Oh, Kirsten left. All in all, I know that Zach is kind of worried because it's limiting his customizability, but that's just, that's the way he thinks. I like lore-wise that some of these are being reined in to specific classes and particular prerequisites.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense to me. I like it. It's more thematic, I think is the right word here.
I have faith in WotC.
Yeah, again, he's looking at these feats as what he would be able to take with his current cleric. We haven't seen what he's able to take with his cleric yet, because we haven't touched on those feats. Like, those don't exist yet. So time will tell.
His feats are lucky.
Yeah, his feats are lucky. So I don't really have anything else apart from a reminder that we will not be having D&D next Friday. Theoretically, we will have it Friday the 4th as a makeup day and then be back on schedule the next Friday the 11th. I'm currently cautiously planning on having Whiskey Wednesdays at the normal time. I should be back home by then. We'll see how tired I am. I should be okay, but
you'll be dead from jet lag.
We'll see, because we should be back stateside on the 1st, but we will have an overnight stay in Philly. So I may be potentially able to reset some of my jet lag by then, and by the time I get back, have most of the day to chill. And I'll probably want a whiskey after that point anyway. So yeah, we'll just have to see.
Hooray!
I shall catch you around stream. We shall catch you around stream.
Yeah, so far as I'm aware, Pez Place is still going to happen, theoretically.
Yep.
But that's up to Pez.
Metallurgy magic, I don't fucking know. We'll do it when we do it. I don't know. I'm probably going to try and do something this Saturday if I'm not too tuckered out from work, but...
And depending on when you host that, I may actually be awake and able to participate.
Let's fucking go.
Well, participate in
football.
Hopping in and chatting.
Yeah.
But, well... Yeah, I mean... I get in at 7 in the morning on Saturday, and then I've got like a 6-hour layover until my train leaves, and then I'm on the train for 4 hours, so I'll have a lot of downtime. We'll see how things go. Anyway, that's all I got. Oh, All right, I guess it's
Issa
time to
fun.
go since Issa's dipping out as well. All right, good night, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Goodbye.